25th Annual Leaders Consultation enhances Malaysia-Brunei cooperation. 62,000 competent individuals required to drive RE generation. Hello, good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Nicholas and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. The 25th Annual Leaders Consultation between Malaysia and Brunei, held at Istana Nurul Iman in Bandar Seri Begawan, has enhanced cooperation between the two countries. According to the Prime Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, in continuing the good relations between Malaysia and Brunei, the government cannot deny the role of previous leaders in maintaining this relationship. However, he said the government is taking a different approach in continuing this cooperation to ensure that the relationship between Malaysia and Brunei can have a more effective impact on both countries.
Satu pendekatan yang lebih praktikal, ya, kerana persepadan yang sama dan juga keperluan untuk meningkatkan hubungan pengangkutan, pelancongan dan pertanian yang boleh dimanfaatkan oleh Brunei dan juga Malaysia.
Earlier, the Prime Minister attended the 25th Annual Leaders Consultation between Malaysia and Brunei and had a four-eyed meeting with Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah at Istana Nurul Iman. Elaborating on the cooperation, Dato Sri Anwar said Malaysia and Brunei agreed to enhance collaboration in various fields, including tourism, education, investment, literature, technology and military. The Prime Minister arrived yesterday for a two-day working visit in conjunction with the 25th Annual Leaders Consultation between Malaysia and Brunei, a high-level mechanism in the bilateral relations between the two countries. The Ministry of Health, MOH, has today confirmed that Malaysia is not facing a crisis of human insulin shortages and the current supply is sufficient until the end of the year. However, according to the Minister, Dato Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, the Ministry is already looking for other alternatives and is getting other suppliers as soon as possible. The Minister also said that interested overseas suppliers would need to submit their dossiers to the Health Ministry and it would expedite the registration process through the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to believe that we will be in a crisis situation of sort, but because we have other alternatives and we are getting the other suppliers soonest. We'll go on a fast track on this, 60 days. As opposed to a few months, originally ataupun selalunya. So we will go a fast track to expedite, the NPRA's punya registration of their human insulin sources.
He said this to reporters at the MIH Megatrends 2024 MOU signing ceremony today. Last week, the ministry clarified that the recent disruption in the supply of human insulin at its local facilities was caused by production issues. Dato Sri Zulkifli refuted claims of a depletion in supply and clarified that the issues stemmed from a contractual obligation with one of the ministry's suppliers. On another note, Dato Sri Zulkifli said there are 31 suspected cases of Mpox or monkeypox in Malaysia as of today, of which 25 cases have been confirmed negative while 6 are still being monitored. He said the first case was reported on the 26th of July 2023 and the last was in November of the same year. He said from December 2023 right up to this moment in time, there have not been any new cases reported. Dato Sri Zulkifli said immediate steps were taken by the Ministry of Health MOH following the increase in cases in neighbouring countries including Singapore and Thailand, with more stringent screening at the country's entry points.
Yeah, we screen and we wanted to get it confirmed. And to date, to this moment in time, no positive cases. But nonetheless, we are, as I said on my point earlier, about why or how we are actually strengthening and alerting all our all our, especially borders control, and as well our 8 laboratories, that we are now activating, and as well our CPRC.
On the 14th of August, the World Health Organization (WHO) declared Mpox as a global public health emergency of international concern. The Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia (SAHIH) has conducted a special audit on Malaysia Aviation Group (MAG) in response to recent disruptions involving Malaysia Airlines services. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the findings from this special audit would be presented to the Cabinet this Wednesday. Full report on the flight disruptions would cover details such as the age of the aircraft and all relevant aspects of the incidents.
Yes, we have reached out to MH. In fact, before these 3 incidents, we already launched investigation because there were some other incidents before this. And CAM has already done a special audit on MAG. And I will report to Cabinet some of the findings of the audit this Wednesday. Of course, follow-up actions will be undertaken by CAM.
In a statement on Saturday, MAG announced plans to reduce its flights and routes between now and December 2024. MAG explained that this decision is a response to recent service disruptions which impacted Malaysia Airlines, Firefly and Amal services during the week beginning 19th of August. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said the government has yet to receive any feedback from the opposition regarding the draft Memorandum of Understanding MOU on the allocation of funds to the opposition members of Parliament MPs.
Tanya pembangkang. Tanya ke pembangkang, belum dapat lagi. Belum dapat respon daripada dia orang. Belum.
On the 20th of August, Perikatan National PN Chief Whip Dato Sri Taqiyuddin Hassan was reported to have said that they have received the draft MOU and would discuss it soon. He previously said the draft needed to be presented to PN Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin and other leaders for a decision. On the 19th of July, Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim stated that the issue of fund allocation to opposition MPs should not be a complicated matter to resolve. The Premier said the conditions set for any opposition MP seeking to obtain allocations are basic requirements and standard procedures in any negotiation and democratic practice.
Kecemasan, boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over.
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembika Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here, over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Coming up, ASEAN Social Cultural Community Post-2025 Strategic Plan on track. Malaysia requires approximately 62,000 competent individuals to drive the generation of a renewable energy RE up to 70% or 56 gigawatts in the energy sector by 2050. Deputy Prime Minister and Energy Transition and Water Transformation Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said this estimate was based on projected advancement in energy transition technology.
Sebab di bawah net energy transition roadmap ini, kita sekarang ni balik kepada transition energy. Bila maknanya lebih banyak mix yang perlu kita laksanakan, dan untuk realisasikan sama ada kita boleh capai ataupun tidak, bukan saja kita memerlukan investor, tapi investor memerlukan pekerja. Kalau kita tak ada pekerja yang knowledgeable dan berkemahiran dalam technical bidang ini, maka kita tidak akan mampu mencapai.
The Deputy Premier emphasised that the government is committed to strengthening existing accreditation processes focused on RE to ensure the development of capacity and competent human capital to support the energy transition agenda. As such, technical and vocational education and training, TVET, plays a vital role in producing a competitive workforce. He said the Energy Commission's initiative to produce competent individuals through TVET is a forward-looking step to ensure TVET graduates are not only proficient in theory but also competent in practical applications. The ASEAN Social Cultural Community ASCC Post-2025 Strategic Plan is progressing smoothly, with significant consultations held to promote a more inclusive, resilient and prosperous community. The co-chairs of the 6th Ad Hoc Working Group meeting stressed the importance of the consultations in keeping the strategic plan relevant and responsive to emerging global trends. Discussions centered on refining the ASCC Post-2025 Strategic Plan to ensure it aligns with broader ASEAN goals and addresses the region's evolving needs. The agenda tackled cross-cutting issues, including strengthening partnerships and devising strategies to enhance the ASCC's impact and relevance in the future. The two-day meeting was co-chaired by Malaysia and Laos at the ASEAN headquarters in Jakarta. The next meeting is set to take place in September in Laos. The project is funded by the Japan-ASEAN Integration Fund 3.0. The Employees Provident Fund EPF has appointed Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali as its new chairman effective 1st of September 2024. Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki, previously the 15th Chief Secretary to the government, will be taking over from Tan Sri Ahmad Badri Muhammad Zahir, who has held the post since the 1st of May 2020. The EPF, in a statement today, said the board extends its heartfelt appreciation to Tan Sri Ahmad Badri for his exemplary leadership and his significant contributions. It said at the same time the board would like to welcome and congratulate Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki, whose extensive experience in the government sector and strategic direction will continue to drive the EPF to greater heights. Now, the Madani deposit proposal by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, KPKT, aims to help more Malaysians achieve home ownership. According to the President of the Real Estate and Housing Developers Association Malaysia, Reda Datuk Ho Hon Sang, the proposal addresses a significant barrier, the 10% deposit, that hinders individuals, particularly young adults, starting their careers from buying homes. The initiative offers first-time home buyers a deposit of up to 30,000 ringgit, aligning with the government's My Home, My Heaven policy. Additionally, Datuk Ho praised KPKT's plan to introduce another measure to ease financial concerns beyond monthly mortgage payments. This scheme, similar to the previous Developer Interest Bearing Scheme DIBS, but with stricter regulations, allows buyers to retain more financial reserves by having developers cover interest costs during construction. While final details are still pending, Reda believes both the Madani deposit and the enhanced DIBS scheme should apply only to control-priced, affordable housing, ensuring they do not affect affordable housing prices. Malaysia records a 14.3% increase year-on-year in air passenger traffic, with 8.8 million passengers in July 2024 versus 77 million same month last year. It is also 7.7% higher month-on-month versus June, with 8.1 million passengers. In a statement, the Malaysian Aviation Commission (MAVCOM) said international traffic continues to lead the recovery, while the significant growth observed in both ASEAN and non-ASEAN routes. The growth also attributed to the implementation of 30-day visa exemptions for tourists from China and India. This underscores the resurgence of global travel driven by restored connectivity and rising consumer confidence. MAVCOM Executive Chairman Dato Sri Saripudin Kasim believes that Malaysia will be on track to meet the expected passenger traffic for the year. For the first 7 months of 2024, cumulative air passenger traffic reached 55.4 million passengers, in line with MAVCOM's 93.9 to 107.1 million forecast for the entire year.
Ringgit is projected to continue its upward trajectory in the region until end of the year. The Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, AMIR, expects the local unit to potentially reach 4.20 from 4.59 recorded end of last year. MIER, in its research note, argues that ringgit is benefiting from the potential reduction in the US interest rates. The currency is also supported by domestic factors such as fiscal reform and strong economic growth. Foreign investment in the local equity and bond market also supports the ringgit. The nominal effective exchange rate (NEER) and real effective exchange rate (REER) indicators suggest a fair value of the ringgit between 3.90 to 4.20 against the US dollar. However, MIER remains cautious in its projections due to the prolonged strength of the dollar, which may keep the ringgit's average exchange rate around 4.60 to 4.64 against the dollar. Foreign investors remain active buyers last week with a net purchase of 1.4 billion ringgit of domestic equities, nearly 5 times the 299.6 million ringgit net bought in the previous week. In its fund flow report for the week ended 23rd August this year, MIDF Amanah Investment Bank Berhad said foreign investors were net buyers on every trading day except Friday, with the largest net foreign inflow totaling 574.9 million ringgit, occurring on Monday when Malaysia announced that exports surged at the fastest pace in nearly 2 years. Exports reached 131.2 billion ringgit in July 2024, marking a 12.3% year-on-year increase. MIDF said there was a sell-off of 1.6 million ringgit on Friday last week after 4 consecutive days of net buying. As for local institutions, MIDF said they were net sellers every trading day, continuing to offload domestic equities for the second consecutive week with a total net sale of 1.12 billion ringgit. Meanwhile, the local retailers only had a net purchase on Friday totaling 78.2 million ringgit, and their net sold a total of 284.4 million ringgit during the week. Adding to that, MIDF said the continued rise in Malaysia's leading index, LI, indicates that positive momentum in the country's economy is likely to persist in the second half of 2024. MIDF stated that the LI endorses their recent increase of the 2024 GDP growth forecast to 5.4%, anticipating that national economic growth will be bolstered by rising domestic spending and a recovery in external trade activity. Malaysia's LI increased by 3.5% year-on-year in June 2024, slightly below the 3.8% growth recorded in May 2024, marking the 7th consecutive month of expansion. This growth was largely driven by a rise in the Bursa Malaysia Industrial Index. However, the LI declined by 0.7% month-on-month in June, the second consecutive monthly contraction, due to declines across all LI components from May 2024, except for the Bursa Malaysia Industrial Index and Real Money Supply M1. Next, Australia gives workers right to ignore bosses after work hours. Hezbollah forces claimed on Sunday that the first round of operations was successful after the Lebanon-based group and Israel forces engaged in the extensive exchanges of fire along their border. This is amid international community's call for de-escalation of this situation. Hezbollah announced it had launched hundreds of missiles into Israel in retaliation for the killing of its commander, Fuad Shukr, in an Israeli airstrike on Beirut last month. In response, Israel reported conducting numerous airstrikes targeting Hezbollah's rocket launches in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah reported firing over 320 rockets and drones at northern Israel. Media have been informed that Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged information through intermediaries, and the intense conflict of the day has ended. Both sides are reportedly not interested in full-scale war and wish to prevent further escalation of the situation. The international community has also called on both sides to de-escalate the situation. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres was deeply concerned over the exchanges of fire across the blue line, the Lebanon-Israel frontier, his spokesman said. Ryan Evans, a member of the Reuters team covering the war in Ukraine, was killed and 2 Reuters journalists were injured in a strike on a hotel in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk. Evans, who was working as safety advisor for the agency, was killed after a missile struck the hotel Sapphire, where he was staying as part of a 6-person team on Saturday. 2 of the agency's journalists were being treated in hospital. One of them was seriously injured. Reuters said in a statement that it is seeking more information about the attack, including by working with the authorities in Kramatorsk. Evans, 38, was a former British soldier, had been working with Reuters since 2022 and advised its journalists on safety around the world, including in Ukraine, Israel and at the Paris Olympics. Australian employees can ignore their bosses outside work hours thanks to a new right to disconnect designed to curb the creep of emails and calls into personal life. The new rule, which came into force today, means employees cannot be punished for refusing to read or respond to contact from the employers outside work hours. Supporters say the law gives workers the confidence to stand up against the steady invasion of their personal life by work emails, text and calls. Policy Director at the Centre for Future Work, Fiona McDonald, said some employers would be concerned that it is a blanket ban on all communications outside working hours.
I think it'll take a bit of bedding down, this reform. Some people may, mistakenly believe that they can just kind of shut down and not respond to work communications now. Some employers may be a bit worried that it is a blanket ban on all communications outside work. So it'll take a bit of getting used to and working out how to put it in place in different workplaces.
To cater for emergencies and jobs with irregular hours, the rule still allows employers to contact their workers who can only refuse to respond where it is reasonable to do so. However, the Australian Industry Group and Employer Group said ambiguity about how the rule applies will create confusion for bosses and workers. In sports, record-breaking Duplantis Ingebrigtsen sparkle in Polish meet. Armand Duplantis and Jacob Ingebrigtsen thrilled spectators as they set world records at the Silesia Diamond League meeting. Duplantis celebrated in his usual exuberant style as he set a new mark of 6.26 meters in the pole vault less than 3 weeks after he last broke it when defending his Olympic title in Paris. He broke the world record for the 10th time, beating the 6.25 meters he cleared when retaining his Olympic gold medal in Paris. This was also the 3rd time this year he had broken his own record. The 24-year-old Swede was congratulated by Polish President Andrzej Duda, who came onto the track and shook his hand. In the 3,000 meters, Ingebrigtsen, who lost his 1,500 meters Olympic crown but won the 5,000 meters title, held his hand to his face in astonishment, then on top of his head-mouth gap after posting a time of 7 minutes 17.55 seconds. The 23-year-old Norwegian smashed Kenyan Daniel Comens' 28-year-old mark by more than 3 seconds. 3 days ago, the Norwegian had exacted a small measure of revenge over American Cole Hocker by winning the men's 1,500 meters in Lausanne in 3 minutes 27.83 seconds, 2 weeks after Hocker shocked the Olympic field to win gold in Paris. Spanish champions Real Madrid earned a 3-0 win over Real Valladolid in La Liga as Kylian Mbappe made his Santiago Bernabeu ball without finding the net yesterday. Real Valladolid set out to frustrate the champions in the summer heat and succeeded for 45 minutes. Madrid came out with more bite in the second half and midfielder Federico Valverde flashed home a vicious low free kick with the help of a deflection to break the deadlock. Mbappe blew a golden opportunity to get off the mark when Vinicius Jr. cut the ball across to him, but Estonian goalkeeper Karl Hein saved well. The France captain had another chance on the counter-attack but fired wide before being replaced by 18-year-old Brazilian forward Enrique. Brahim Diaz secured Madrid's win with a neat lobbed finish and then teed up Enrique, who drilled home at the near post to celebrate his first appearance for the club in style. Still lacking fluency in attack, Carlo Ancelotti's side stayed 2 points behind rivals Barcelona, who beat Athletic Bilbao on Saturday. That concludes this edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top stories, 62,000 competent individuals are needed to drive regeneration by 2050. Till then, I'm Olivia Nicholas and Malaysia Madani, Jiwa Merdeka. Thank you for watching.